Morning. Welcome back to our Stony Creek journey. I'm doing a bean harvest this morning. We're going out for dinner, so we've got so many beans on our bean arbour and our dwarf beans. And you might think, why is that white pole in there? Because it was so heavy that it fell down, so we've had to prop it up. But we're getting beans for days. We've got these really cool purple ones too, but when you cook them, they actually go green. So I was going to put a video up of a few things we've been doing. Robert's got his Yeomans Plow up and running. Two of his brothers, Steve and Jerry, came up and helped him fix it up to now the point that he can use it, so he's really excited. So he's doing the back paddock. So Robert's done a video on that and how it works and all about the plough. So I'll pop that up. A little bit of an update on how the chickens are going. They're going really well. They're out of the little brooder. As you'll see, they're in the big brooder now. And yeah, just doing some morning harvest. So welcome back, and I hope you're having a good day. Enjoy the video. Also thought I'd show you my red onion harvest. Really happy with that. So we can grow onions here. Tick. Yay. So I'll certainly plant more of those next year. They look fabulous.
Hi everybody. I hope I can explain what I'm doing down here. I'm down in the back paddock and I've got hooked on the tractor an implement called a Yeomans Plow, and I've been working towards this for about, I don't know, 3 months, and I was lucky enough to find this bad boy second hand. They're pretty expensive and they're rare as hen's teeth. You can still buy them brand new, but they're mega bucks. So they consist of a tine that goes into the ground, and you're looking at a disc there that's cutting the ground, and the tines go through the ground, and at the moment I'm able to get down around about 8 inches, and you can see down here my hand disappears under the ground, and what it's doing there is just breaking it up so that and there's still quite a bit of moisture under there, so it's breaking up the dirt, or the soil, I should call it soil. And this guy was, the Keyline plough was developed by a guy called P A Yeomans back in, I think it was in the 60s. And the idea is to rip through the ground, and this ground's had, I don't know, over 100 years of agriculture on it, animals, tractors and fertilizers and all sorts of things going on in it, and the ground is really compacted. And the idea of the Yeomans is to break up the subsoil on contour around the paddock. And I hope you can see what I'm doing here, where I'm following the contour of the slope of the land, so that as water comes down off all of that catchment there, instead of flowing across the surface on compacted ground, and if you tip water on a sheet of glass on a slope, it just runs off. But if you put barriers in the way, it'll hold the water up, and the theory is it captures water and it penetrates deeper into the ground. As you can see here, there's a little ridge, and I'm going around the contour of the ridge and then lining it up with the same or similar height of the land as I travel across it with the plough. And as everybody knows, you know, the secret to healthy plants, growing healthy plants, is healthy soil. And the soil, when it doesn't get air and water penetration, it can't carry out its normal function of growing microbes, to feed the soil, build up a network of basically the same as your gut microbiome, but in the soil. And that in turn feeds and fertilizes the plants that you grow. And there's plenty online if you want to look it up, and keylining, subsoiling, permaculture design. There's some really interesting stuff, and that helps with sequestering carbon, because you have healthy soil, healthy plants, pulls carbon out of the atmosphere, and as part of photosynthesis it puts it back into the soil, which then creates more life, because all life needs carbon and oxygen and water to sustain. And that's what I'm doing by opening it up, is letting oxygen, water and microbes grow, and hopefully build up more humus. And not every row, but probably every 5 or 6 passes I've been going through, and just by hand walking alongside the row and dropping seed in, pasture seed in, to eventually grow some more better grasses. And it's a bit of a slow process. It's taken probably 5 hours so far to do. I think I'm just over halfway of the paddock, and you basically have to travel at a walking pace, and as you go along you hit certain things underground that you don't know that's there. And just on that last pass, that's what I've picked up in the bucket. And I've picked up a fair bit of wire that the plough's dragged out of the ground, and there's concrete slabs and rocks, and sometimes it just pulls the tractor up dead, and you got to lift the plough and move a little bit forward and continue on from there. But interesting exercise. Not 100% sure if I'm doing it exactly right, but at least I'm starting the process of improving the soils around the place. I didn't survey this area because I thought it's only a gradual slope, and there's a couple of sort of crests and dips, and I've just been eye-sighting the contour, and it changes pretty much as you move down the hill as well, so you've got to adjust where you're driving to keep it on contour. And that's just so the water doesn't keep flowing. I think you can use the plough to drain as well. So I've got a couple of wet areas that I might, instead of going on contour, direct the line of the plough as more of a drainage, and we'll see if that works. Cool. I'll keep you updated, because this is a long process. This is sort of like, it'll take me three years, I suppose, before I see any major results. 2 to 3 years. I also want to spray on next, now that I've contoured or ploughed, is use a biological spray. I swallowed a fly. Use a biological spray to help activate the microbiome in the soil, and we'll see how that works too. Cool. But we're very lucky insofar as this farm's not had any chemical inputs probably for the last 10 years that I'm aware of. The previous owners didn't use anything to improve the soils. They used a little bit of glyphosate around the place, which I've sort of gotten rid of, but only in weed control, spot weeding, not so much as broad acreage spraying of anything. So we're lucky insofar as we've got a clean slate. It hasn't had a lot of chemical inputs over the years that's poisoned the organisms in the soil. So we'll see where it takes us. Cheers.
So here are the chicks. 2 weeks exactly today since they were born. They're now out in the big brooder in the shed because they just got too big for the small brooder, and the small brooder's inside and they do get a little bit smelly. So I just found this nice log for them to jump on, and then their water and their feed's up this end. But they're growing beautifully. They're all still there, so we've still got 14. Little Miracle's hard to find now because she's grown so well. I think that's her there. And then we've still got one right in the corner over there, who I call Floppy because she doesn't walk as well, and she often has her head down and preening herself. I think something's not quite right there, but just we'll wait and see what happens. I think we're definitely seeing a couple of roosters in the bunch. These ones here that are often jumping up, and they're the most inquisitive, and they look a bit bigger, so I definitely think they're roosters. And the little one from our orchard from Roger, we're yet to see whether that's going to be a light Sussex or whether it's going to be a grey, so that'll be interesting. But I hope it's a she, is getting her little wing feathers. So the 2 little brown ones are in there, and they're certainly growing as well. Although this one looks a bit bossy too, so, and he's getting tall, so maybe he's a he. But they're doing really well, so really happy. And we've now got some more eggs in the incubator from our caravan, and we put in some from the orchard. We filled up the incubator, put 22 in there, and of them there's 16 that are growing chicks, and they're all from the caravan. There's actually none at the moment from the orchard. Roger doesn't seem to be doing his rooster job at the moment, but Tom and Jerry certainly are, so that'll be really interesting to see what we get from that bunch. So yeah, chicks are doing great.
Here's Symbol playing with the overflow of the water tank. She had a whole head in it before. I think she's enjoying a shower. There you go. I wish she'd turn around and give her bum a wash. They're very cute. She's probably doing it to keep the flies off her head.
So since I last updated you on the Australorps, we now have our little foundation crew of 2 roosters, Bluey and Alan, 3 blacks, 2 blues and 2 splashes. And they have started laying. So they lay these really, really cute little eggs. So yeah, we've got 3 or 4 laying eggs, which is nice. And apparently Australorps have a pretty good lay rate, so that's going to be great. We had a bit of a scare yesterday out in the chicken caravan. I'll take you down and show you. So we're down near the chicken caravan, and yesterday when I came to give them their fermented grains in the morning at 7:30, one of the speckled chickens was not in the pen. We have 2 speckled chickens, this one and another one. And I thought, uh-oh, it's got out, and that's it, a fox has got it, and we've only got 1. But lo and behold, at lunchtime, when I came down to check them, she was back outside around the side of the netting. So I was very happy, and I just let her in and thought, oh well, yay. This morning when we fed them their grains, there were 2 speckled hens, and I've just come down at lunchtime and there's only 1. So where she goes, I'm just hoping she'll turn up at some stage. Maybe she's got a nest somewhere, I'm not sure, but hopefully she comes back because they're my favourite. I really like them. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, I was really sad, then I was happy, and now I'm thinking, I'm not sure what's going on there, but anyway. Alright, so I'll pop this up. Thanks for watching again. Until next time. Bye.